Hello and welcome back to your favorite podcast, the Golden Nugget Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Golden, joined by my best friend.
Really?
Yeah, I would say so.
That's kind.
Enoch.
Hey. What's up,
guys,
everybody?
Today this is just me and Enoch.
It is. It's a little different.
This is our first time, I think, ever doing this, Enoch.
Together, yeah.
This is going to be great.
I'm feeling the spiritual pressure.
Enoch.
I love it. This is so much fun. We are missing our bestie, Kayla, though.
Yeah.
This is like so sad.
We miss Kayla, but we are actually on the road for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So TBD if there's even going to be an episode next week. We're actually going to be in Greece for my birthday.
So we'll see what we can cook up.
Would it technically be, what day is my birthday next week?
We don't know.
Enoch.
But what we do know.
You know, it's
on
a Monday.
I don't know how far along Greece is compared to USA. What are they, a day or two behind?
I don't even know. I feel horrible not knowing.
Because I know Australia is a day ahead.
Well, that's also like I hate when we get into geography.
Geography is always going to be the death.
I literally hate that.
Geography is always going to be the end of us.
I never want to talk about geography.
We can talk about basketball.
It's literally making my heart beat fast.
Yeah.
My birthday is next Monday.
Okay.
So 1 week from today, you guys.
She's turning 23.
Thank you for that. I wish. I'm just kidding. I'm turning 28.
Nice.
Which is, honestly, I've thought this whole year I was 28. So I feel like I'm going back in time.
She acts 28, so it kind of lines up.
What does that mean? What is it? Acting 28?
She's seasoned, mature.
Wow, thank you for saying that.
Wise,
I
patient.
feel like I'm 12. I will always feel like I'm 12. I will actually say legitimately feel like I'm 15 forever. I used to think that if you were like 28, you had everything in your life figured out. I'm like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I feel way younger than I am, I hope. Yeah. That's also still so young, right?
He's got a youthful spirit.
Thank you. I also am youthful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I would say so, besides the whole going to bed early recently thing. But last night I stayed up late. And we're also...
She stayed up till midnight.
If you're wondering where we are, we don't know either. We're currently in Gainesville, Georgia.
Home of the poultry. We've got a big window next to our hotel room. That's where we are. And I just saw a truck full of chickens.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, this is the poultry capital of the world.
Whoa, I had no idea.
Yeah. If you just watch out the window, you will see chicken trucks with cages. Like, you can see through them. Just hundreds and hundreds of chickens.
I love eating chicken, but that makes me so sad.
It smells crazy. Streets.
The smell is not what I'm talking about. One time I actually had this, I was on like a tour last December, and they had like runners for us at the church. It means like people were there ready to take us places that we need to go to because we were like traveling by tour bus. And one of the stops, I could never remember where. I don't even know where that tour was, if I'm quite honest. But anyway, one of the stops, that's what happens when you're on tour. And one of the stops happened, I had a runner and he worked at like a chicken factory. Is it a factory?
Nice.
I don't know.
I would guess. Close enough.
Like a chicken coop. Anyway, he was definitely like man's man, a part of this chicken organization.
Yeah.
And I was like, sir, have you ever just like one time you're walking past the cages because he drove them? And I was like, you ever just like catch an eye with one of them and you're like imprint on it and then you feel bad and then you have an emotional connection? He thought I was crazy for asking that.
You just feel like it's your son.
No,
so
literally.
I've got to save you.
But it's like a living being. Like, you ever walked past any of those kind of things?
You think chickens have souls?
Well, this goes if I think animals have souls.
Do you?
I think Carl does. I think our cat does.
I don't know.
He'll be in heaven.
I'd hope dogs get to heaven too.
You think all animals go to heaven? Have you lost an animal that you're waiting to see in heaven?
My brother lost a guinea pig when I was like 15.
Yeah, I don't think rodents make it.
That was pretty detrimental.
I don't think rodents are going to be there.
I remember the funeral. It was so crazy.
You guys.
We dug a hole in the backyard and we just sang a song.
What song?
I can only imagine.
You're kidding. Did you sing it in Spanish?
I'm joking. We did have a funeral, though. I remember thinking it was such a joke. I was like laughing at the whole thing. It was my dad, me, and Jeremy, my brother. And they're like so sad. They start sobbing. This is just
Your dad is sobbing?
My dad, my brother.
How long did you guys have it? I don't think
we
guinea
probably
pigs
had it for
have
like
long.
6 months.
I was gonna say 6 months
Yeah.
and that attached.
It was
I can't
pretty
wait
attached.
to see what happens when your guys' dog dies.
Literally. Anyways, they start sobbing, and I'm
Not
like,
that I can't wait.
God.
That was a horrible
Yeah.
way to say that. I just
I
mean
didn't
the
even catch
reaction.
That. I didn't even catch that.
Anyway,
That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably not. Anyways, so I'm like laughing, thinking it's a joke. I'm recording, and as they're crying, it just hits me. And I'm like, no way. And I'm like, sobbing. I start crying too.
Enoch over guinea pig?
Yeah, it was
over
just
not
sad.
even your guinea pig that y'all had for 6 months as a family?
My dad never let us have a pet. That was our first pet. Well, we had a fish that also lasted like a week. So
what,
that was
like a
pretty
goldfish?
sad. No, it was like a purple fish, long.
Y'all killed a beta fish in a week? Beta fish can live in like pond, like a puddle on the street.
Don't do all that. Don't do
months.
that. Because I think we put it in too small of a bowl.
No,
and
betas can literally live in like a cup.
Oh gosh, yeah, we did something wrong. But listen, and that's why
so tough.
after that funeral, that's why my dad was like, "That's why I've never let you guys have a dog." Now they've got a dog.
What's its name again?
Who?
The dog.
It's a girl. 1, 2.
I said, yeah. What's its name?
Her name is Luna.
Luna.
Luna means moon in Spanish.
I know what Luna means. Thank
Oh,
you,
guys, she's back on Duolingo.
I know
she's
that.
like, I
at
know.
least. I feel like every person's dog that got a dog in like 2008, all of their dogs' name are Bella.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of Bellas.
It's always
another chicken
Bella.
truck. That's
really?
2. Yeah.
That is so
They're all
crazy
over
to
the
me.
place.
That makes me feel so sad. Guys, I was a vegan when I was 15. I was a vegan for quite a while. Shout out to my very first boyfriend. I'm so sorry. Shout out. I was like 15. He was 16. He was probably like 6'2", maybe 120 pounds soaking wet. Like, was quite literally...
Nice.
He was, 16, growing, and I was like, if I'm gonna be a vegan, you're gonna be vegan. And he dropped weight.
He's
like,
dying.
if that was possible, he dropped even more weight.
It's like 85 pounds.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Jeez.
I'll never forget that. And then we were in the mall, and I was like, what if we just stop? And then we both got, I think we got Chick-fil-A.
She got a hold of some fried chicken. She got a hold of
You guys, actually, I've been vegan on and off for a long time.
I could never. I literally every year.
I wouldn't go back. I'm not going to do it again. My parents are listening to this grieved. I would never go back. I'm so sorry. I love chicken.
Honestly, yeah, me too. Every year when we do a Daniel Fest to start off the year, chicken is always the one thing that I'm just like itching for. Like
chicken.
Cold sweats.
I do like steak a lot. Well, I just feel like chicken would probably be what I gravitate towards.
Yeah,
the
for
most.
sure.
I feel like I eat quite a lot of greens in general. Like, I would say my normal week is like salads.
You love a good salad.
But all this to say, I was a vegan maybe when I was like 18. I went and I led worship at this church in Trinidad, and I was there for probably like 5 days. Hitting that little cup on the mic is crazy.
I'm so sorry. Try to extend my knee here. I was bending a crazy way. They're gonna end up like yours.
Okay, guys, I want to know how everybody stands, because apparently I stand wrong and I lock my knees to the back.
Yeah, she stands and she doesn't bend her knees, and so all of her weight and tension is just like bending towards the back of her knee.
Ever since you
like
told me this,
in.
it's made me so anxious about the
And
way
so
that I stand.
I'll like pop up behind you. You know that little trick where you kick their knee in?
He'll push my knee in. But the other day someone else did it. I can't remember who. Remember that
I think it was
happened?
Courtney. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I was like, wait, does she notice too?
Anyways, I just try to take care of our knees. Our knees are important.
Thank you for that.
We're going to need them.
What was even the story I was talking? Oh, okay. I was in Trinidad for probably like 5. I maybe honestly might have been there for like a week. And honestly, they catered to my vegan needs the whole time I was there, which was so kind.
That's going above and beyond.
Yeah, no, they were really.
What's Trinidad like? Is it like?
There's Trinidad
really
and
have history with
Tobago. It is on the Trini side. It's like more third world, I believe. It's not a very developed country.
Where is this, in the Caribbean?
But it's stunning.
Back to geography. Where is it?
It's in the Caribbean, I believe.
Nice.
Enoch, stop asking me geography questions.
She's like, no more curiosity.
Guys, I literally am like, I think that when it comes to geography, I just go numb. Like, my whole mind just goes mush. Anyway, one thing while we were there is there was like a KFC that they're like known for. And they're like, this KFC just like rips. Like, it's so incredible. And I didn't have it. And I remember being so bummed. I don't know why I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's discipline.
But
that's
I'll also say another thing about Trinidad. The worship culture there was stunning. Probably one of my favorite times I've ever led worship.
I love that.
But we had such a great time over there. It was stunning. We got to go to the beach. Food was great, even though I wasn't having any sort of like meat or dairy. I get back to the States and I'm like, I need Chick-fil-A. Like, when you go overseas and you come back, you're always just like, I need American food.
That's so real. There's this TikTok sound, you've probably heard it, where it's like an eagle sound, and like I think it's like an American song. It's like being back in the States, and they're like going to McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme.
Honestly, it's so embarrassing. It's like trash. Like, other countries have way better food than us probably, but
Three chicken trucks have passed. I'm counting the whole episode.
Okay, wow.
This
Shout
one
out
was
to the
empty.
Chicken trucks.
This one was empty.
Anyway, I had to say, no, not the chicken.
Anyways, I was thinking, what makes a great worship culture? What was so different about the Trinidad church, I guess?
Well, I think honestly, outside of like Western Christianity, inside of like the United States, people are just more desperate. I think we get really casual here inside of the States because we have access to so many amazing conferences, worship events. Look at like the city that you live in. Like, every person's going to be on tour going there. You have access to your church, and your church does this, and your church does this. It's like so many more things.
It gets pretty casual.
Yeah, I feel like over there, there's just a way more of a desperation. It was just stunning. Like, people didn't wait for you to lead worship.
Yeah.
But all this to say,
like,
I get
they
back.
set the tone instead of you having to have like that weight of, it's on me.
Yeah, it was honestly so stunning. I wish I could have gone back this year. I was trying to, but I think we'll try and figure it out for the next. But all this to say, I get back to the States. I go through Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have chicken nuggets. Why didn't I go to the KFC in Trinidad that everybody told me to go to? I don't know. What a bummer that I missed out on that. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A. I'm going to eat chicken nuggets. I'm going to get some fries. I go through the drive-thru. This is in Franklin, Tennessee. I know. I'm so hungry right now.
I love it. We're fasting.
No, we're not.
We're fasting for this episode.
Oh, we're fasting the episode. Amen. Lord, move. Anyway, so then I like pull through, and the guy, it's like a kid. The classic like young guy working at Chick-fil-A. This is in Franklin, Tennessee, right next to my house when I lived there. I pull through, and he was like, gives me my bag. There's no sauce. Now, Chick-fil-A has, say what you want about Chick-fil-A. It's literally a vehicle for the sauce.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't eat their chicken. I'm like, oh, this is so good. I feel like seasoned chicken wise, what's that one place? Bojangles is probably the best.
Bojangles. Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
Or like honestly, I like Cane's.
Now. I'm itching for Bojangles.
I'm not too much of a Zaxby's girl, but I'll eat it. I think they have better salads than they do.
I love Zaxby's.
But all this to say, I just want the sauce. If they forget my sauce at Chick-fil-A, I don't want the meal.
What's your favorite sauce?
Chick-fil-A sauce.
That's
when people are like Polynesian, throws me off.
That used to be me in like high school. I've gone through phases.
Tough.
At this point, I love all of them.
What's your favorite Chick-fil-A sauce? Comment that. I would actually love to know. It's shocking to me.
Barbecue, Chick-fil-a, the sweet
honey barbecue
the sweet
is really
spicy
good.
Sriracha. Oh, incredible!
I don't like spice.
I just like lay them all out in a straight line.
Yeah, Enoch likes barbecue, all of that.
All of them.
I
love the avocado cilantro.
Oh, that's the one that we use for salads.
Incredible.
That one's really good. All this to say,
Man, I'm starving.
I know. Do we just start
but honestly,
listing sauce
I feel like
we
should have a golden nugget episode.
Or we just try different chicken nuggets.
Or we just taste test a little Keith Lee invite. What do you think?
That's amazing. I would love to do that. I would love to do that right now.
Keith Lee, if you're hearing us,
yeah,
give me a
love
call.
Keith Lee. Rate it 1 out of 10. Anyway, so I'm gonna take 10 more minutes telling this story. A lot of detours.
Oh, it's still going.
It's still going. I haven't even gotten to the punch. It's like just talking about Chick-fil-A.
I just thought you got home and had Chick-fil-A. That was a great story.
No, he doesn't. He forgets my sauce, and I'm like, hey, can I have? I think I asked for 4 Chick-fil-A sauce, 4 or 5. I want more sauce than the meal. Okay, I want to make sure that I have excess sauce. Like, I don't want to be rationing my sauce.
I am so bothered by that.
Yeah. So anyway, I asked for it, and he was like, do you know how many calories are in each packets of sauce? And I was like, it literally threw me for such a loop. I was like, my pleasure? I've never seen someone at Chick-fil-A say something like this.
Chick-fil-A's hearing this right now, like,
cringing.
Give me a call.
And
what
then,
location? What time?
No, literally. And then I was like, I do know, actually. I think they're like 100+ calories per sauce, if I'm quite honest.
Sounds about right.
And I was like, I don't care. I'm like thinking about the fact that I haven't even like had a sliver of any sort of bad food in the longest.
You're like, I've been vegan for literally 2 years.
And I was like, I was as skinny as I've ever been. I was like, don't tell me about calories. And then he was like, gives me these sauce and like goes to give them to me through the window, but then like pulls back. I wish I was making this up. And he was like, I just want you to know that you've completely doubled the calories in your entire meal with just these sauce, and then hands them to me.
I would have gotten out of the car.
I literally was like, this is so traumatizing.
No, I would have gone full Karen.
And I was like, at a Chick-fil-A, maybe I'd expect that at like, I don't know, Whole Foods.
Do you think, I don't feel like he would have talked to a guy like that.
Wow, now we're turning into that, huh?
I'm just like,
sure.
Would that ever happen to me? I feel like that would never happen to me.
Yeah, I honestly was so shocked. I was like livid.
I wonder if he thought it was like sweet banter, like he was like flirtatious. I feel like
over calories.
I feel like guys are pretty aggressive in like a flirty way. It's like
I'm like, I don't know.
It's like, hey, you're being mean.
I literally was like, you're being so mean. Also, here's a fun little hack for anybody who feels like someone's being mean to them. This is how you completely gut the situation. You just respond and say, are you trying to be mean to me? Because it does two things. The first thing it does is it lets them know that you're picking up that they are trying to be mean. Second, it lets them know that they're not even doing a good job at being mean, that you have to wonder if they're being mean. So it really just deflates both sides of it. So that's a little hack for you guys.
That's great advice.
Are you trying to be mean to me right now?
I think we've got an early golden nugget.
That being the golden nugget is so crazy. Guys, this episode is going to have to be a little bit shorter today because we're on a bit of a...
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
You told me
I never thought we'd say it.
Oh, well, they have to know because it's like if they're like, oh, I take this, I do this episode when I'm doing an hour
gives the full
car
inside
ride.
Scoop of everything.
I just want
like
you guys
nothing
to
is
know.
ever like.
No, I listen. If we have technical difficulties, if we have anything like that,
She'll
I
be
always
like, hey, we had to take a little break. Enoch's tummy was hurting. Yeah, it was in the bathroom for an hour.
This is just banter with your best friends. That's what you talk about.
Well, anyways,
why are we in Georgia, Enoch?
We were at Forward Conference.
If you're watching on YouTube, Enoch has a shirt.
Got the little merch.
You want to stand up and show the lineup on the back?
Sure, I can.
No, you don't have to do that.
I was about to say. Like maneuvering the angle. People always say I say forward weird. Forward.
You do.
Forward.
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 Forward. That's how you say forward.
Forward.
Forward. That's what you say.
Like a northerner.
Well, I don't think you use all the letters. Forward. That's how it's supposed to be said. I love the way you say it. I told you early on that I love how you say things a little weird.
That hurts. Are you trying to be mean to me?
I love it.
Well, anyways, we were at conference.
Forward conference. Conference.
It was
here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Blast.
You got to sit in every session. Obviously, I was leading one of the sessions. What was your takeaway, Enoch?
Oh, I love it.
Let us into your notes.
Yeah, I love it. It's Forward has a dear and special place in my heart.
Why?
Because this is where I kind of just found God.
Wow.
In a way, this was definitely like a huge piece of my story, but this was the first year I kind of came back and I wasn't on team. So I kind of just got to observe from a different perspective. Obviously, I was helping out the team on our end, but observing wise, it was just like so cool to see like a room full of desperate young people. I think
it's a youth conference of about 12,000 people.
And like these kids are just like hungry and desperate and like honestly Jesus freaks. Like
for sure, they would be more excited about like KB coming out than Kanye.
For sure, they love every single part of it, and like they've got their journals, their 15 highlighters, their bookmarks.
Shout out to all those guys because I love that. That's me too.
They're like those kind of kids, and like they love every part of it. One thing Forward does pretty great is like they not only put on a great production per se, like a great artist, a great pastor, a great speaker, all those things, and they've got a great heart behind it, but they also like invest into like the environment, the atmosphere, like the games that they do. They've got Tribe Wars, and like it's just like this fun environment,
Yeah.
And these kids are just like having a great time. It's not just like all spiritual and like deep, but they show up and like they're playing all these crazy games and there are these crazy prizes, and then and then they've got
I'm
Uncle.
like, whoa, costs.
Okay, and then they've got Uncle Reggie, who's like pretty much the staple of this
every year. Yeah.
Reggie Dabs is like pretty much like the staple. They just celebrated 20 years of conference, and he's been there every single year, and he's like their.
It's amazing.
He's like their shepherd and like literal staple. So from this year watching, it was just so cool to see just like how awesome it is. I guess I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the highlights of my year for sure.
Yeah.
And getting to see like students graduate and then start serving, or like graduate, because I've been a part of it for, I don't even know. I think the first time I ever sang or led worship at Forward Conference was like 2017, which is so crazy to think about.
Wow. That's the year I graduated.
Wow. I think I want to say it may have been earlier than that then. Maybe it was 2015. Because
Whoa.
the first time I led worship, I was like 17, I think.
Yeah,
I
probably.
was just singing.
I was probably 17.
I was singing with another artist.
Yeah, it's probably
So,
earlier. Wow, so you've been around. You're old.
Enoch!
You've been around. Told you she's seasoned.
All right. I'm going to cut the cameras. Anyway, all that to say, I love being able to see like the progression throughout the years and seeing certain students come back as like student leaders with their youth group, and when they got saved, they're now helping the kids in their youth group.
Yeah.
So it's like so cool to be a part of it, and just to truly see the desperation. And it's different every year. It carries the same fervor, but it's just there's
For
always
sure.
like a difference. And this year being the 20th anniversary was just, I think it was like the best one yet, I would say.
It felt surreal. It felt so good.
It was amazing. What was your favorite session? Enoch.
Of course, it was Anna's session. That was
So sweet.
definitely my favorite.
Here's the facts. Okay,
That
so
session was literally so powerful.
last year Enoch and I were not married or dating at Forward Conference. He was working.
Yeah, I was
Forward.
working.
So was I, and he got to choose one session to sit in, and he chose Carrie and Cody's session, which I love.
First of all,
so much.
I love Carrie and Cody. Come on.
Of course.
But that's not the reason why
he didn't
I
choose
chose
mine.
Listen, the way last year's schedule was set up,
Sure.
Anna was the first night. So it was a rapper, and then it was you.
It's Andy Mineo, me, and then I don't know who spoke.
Maddie, I think, spoke.
No.
She didn't speak the first night. Sorry.
I don't know.
Anna was the first night. So it's like we're kicking off this conference. I need to start getting content. I'm shooting. So it's like right off the jump, I'm like locked in. And then Carrie and Cody were last. So it's like by then we're pretty much like finalized on all things. And of course I'm going to sit in and just take it all in.
Yeah, he just articulated to me last year. Was like, yeah, I could choose one session. I chose Carrie and Cody. They're so incredible. And I'm like, I love Carrie and Cody.
That is not how I said it.
Soon to be a wife. You didn't even realize it for real.
Last year was so weird because I didn't see her till the very end.
Yeah.
Usually like we hang out within the couple days, but
I saw you just like around.
I was just working so much,
remember
honestly.
seeing you in Carrie and Cody's session because you didn't have a camera and you were just like worshiping the whole time, crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he's so sweet.
Yeah, that session was so powerful. I love them. They're also one of my favorites.
They're amazing.
But your
They
session,
also led worship this year.
Your session was completely set apart. It was so special, through and through.
Last year, or this
the
year?
whole set, both for sure.
You thought about that.
Yeah, but definitely this year. This year was so special.
It was so. This is like I feel
like I was like in the trenches with you.
Yeah, this was my first. This has been like really my first event, for sure. Like even like team event since we got married.
Yeah.
Took some time off. A lot of people thought I retired because I got married.
It's like, no, we just sat back and we learned how to be married.
Yeah, but this was our first time like doing this married together, and it was such a difference.
And I honestly see why it's so wise to take that time we did at the beginning of the year to like learn how to be married. Because this week it was like powerful, but it's like you also had to
There's like a heavy weight to it. There's also like warfare that comes in with all this stuff.
The spiritual warfare is so heavy. Anxiety, fear, disunity.
Yeah.
Just like all things, because it's not going to be perfect, and it's like all the technicalities that go behind the scenes. There was so much that like I had to learn how to be patient and long suffering, and so did you. And it's just like we could have chosen to just
sweet long suffering peanut.
same with you though. We could have chosen to kill each other, but
for sure. I feel like I don't think we argued at all or anything.
No, we did, but we definitely just chose.
We did during the conference. You think?
No, I think there were certain moments where we could have chosen to be offended. Or chosen to be exhausted.
Like tense. There's maybe moments that get tense where it's like, oh, figuring out this. Where's this happening? When is this like going on?
The logistics
Sound
of things.
checks running late. Technical difficulties. STEM stuff. I think all of that. I hear what you're saying. So like intensity. Where we learned how to navigate intensity, so it didn't turn into arguments.
We're close to each other in proximity the whole time. So it's like when you're frustrated, I'm going to catch some strays, and so are you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so it's like that's where we chose to just like, I'm honestly so proud of us because we chose to just be like,
easy.
You're not the problem. This isn't about you. We're just frustrated.
Yeah.
So it was incredible. And your team was incredible.
Yeah.
Just through and through.
I don't think there were many moments of frustration now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I think that there's just like technical difficulties or when you wish I think frustration's a bad word to say. I think it would have been more like you run up against something that didn't go according to plan. Yeah. That's something that I have to learn to get better at is like and it also comes with being OCD of like when things don't go according to plan, it kind of can send me a little bit like
into a spiral. Because
I'm like, oh, I had it set up like this in my mind. But you were so patient through all the things, and you prayed for me like 1,000 times.
Oh, I was praying all day, every day.
Yeah, it was so sweet.
I literally,
I felt such a difference. I felt like way more covered, and it was just like such a safety. I felt like having you there.
That's sweet.
And just like being able to lean on you for anything.
That's so
and you
sweet.
were never like moved by anything. And you were so hot the whole conference
stop it. No, but it definitely helped. I hate being tickled. If I'm ever tickled, I'd literally rather jump out of the car.
Now we have literally normally Kayla will be in here and she's like, stop. I'm like, we have no one telling us to stop.
No, but honestly, I definitely felt the weight of like the spiritual covering. And I think there was one moment during the day when we did find out that we didn't have as much time with the run through or some things happening with the merch. Everything was just like hitting us so fast and so hard. And I just remember something Pastor Earl said a couple of weeks ago when he was teaching the church about just like the Holy Spirit and the fresh outpour of the Holy Spirit. And just like one of the gifts is the gift of speaking in tongues. And if you have it, then honestly, that's one way that you kind of like advocate for yourself, like speaking to God. And I felt that like the whole conference advocating for you and for the team and for me. And just like as you were in run through and like the stress was happening, I just felt like the weight to just pray in tongues the whole time. And I hadn't eaten. I was starving. I was so hungry.
Fasting, baby.
I was thirsty. I was like
fasting water.
Yeah. But I just felt like the weight of just like to cover you in every which way. And like even the team back home, I had some girls praying for you. And just like what goes on behind the scenes. This isn't just like a 8-song set. You just get up there and karaoke that thing. This like honestly, because it's like there's a weight behind everything that happened.
Yeah, there's so much more to it. I think even in like a conference setting like that, it's with so many young people and they get to be so inspired. I mean, I remember going to conferences when I was young and being like, oh my gosh. I also remember being young and being in conferences like that and being like, I can do that like right now. And I could not. It's like, I definitely did not understand the weight. And it's not something that crushes you, but if you're not spiritually strong enough, it does crush you.
For sure.
And I think that it's just something throughout the years. We were talking to one of the pastors at Free Chapel, and Javon, shout out to Javon, he's the best.
Hey.
And he was like, I remember seeing you lead worship. I think it was like 16 or 17 at a conference in Houston. And he was like, even seeing then, like how the Lord's like cultivated your life and so many things since then. I think it's easy when you join someone's journey later on to think that it was more microwave than it was like crock pot.
You think it's like, overnight.
Yeah, there's a lot of history
Or
that
like,
happens
yeah.
and perseverance that happens in history with Jesus. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's something that those roots make you stand stronger when they're pulled on, especially in an environment
So
like that.
true. Yeah.
So it was amazing. We had such a great time. The whole
Yeah.
conference was beautiful. Pastor Earl,
Oh,
our pastor, got to
it
be
was
there
incredible.
and speak, and that was amazing.
The
Pastor
Servant
Jensen's
King.
message was insanity. It was
Yeah.
something that I'd never heard spoken on
So
before,
holy.
which
Yeah.
is like classic him giving a perspective of something. You're like, man, oh my gosh, I never thought
But
of it
even
that way.
honestly, one of the most powerful moments of the whole conference, I literally look over and I see a bunch of like grown mothers, like volunteers, like holding each other, sobbing, praying, was during Manasseh. And like you explain Manasseh in such a distinctive and different way than you usually have. Because like the story behind it, or like the testimony behind it, would really be like what, church hurt? Right?
Yeah, I mean, just like walking through, I mean, that was kind of the premise of my whole record. I felt like the Lord gave me Manasseh by way of the church that I'm a part of now. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, or you don't know what Manasseh is, it's on my latest record that I released, Church. There's an intro to it. It's pulled from the story of Joseph in the Bible. I think we spoke about it on the podcast maybe once before.
It's like the 3rd episode.
Kind of when we talk through my record. But it pulls from the story of Joseph and his first son's name, Manasseh, and it means to forget. The suffering of my father's household. Manasseh means to forget. And basically, I knew that the Lord had put that song on my heart for this conference, and I'll honestly say that I was extremely nervous about playing it.
Right, yeah.
Because I feel like, first of all, it is slightly a higher level concept. It's not something you immediately know. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to explain it. And secondly, I'm speaking to a lot of young people that might not have experienced, especially through church, like ministry pain, quite literally yet. So many of the students actually come like for the first time, and this is their first experience with anything of the Lord. So I was like, okay, Lord, why would you want me to put this song on my set? I like toiled with it forever.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'll say you also were like, you want to put Manasseh on there? Why don't you do a different song?
I thought the same thing kind of. I was like, honestly, was on the same page with you. I was like, would it be a little too complex for these kids? Is it going to go right over their heads?
Yeah. So I literally right up until we were rehearsing it too, I was like, I don't know, should I do this song?
Yeah, but then the way you explained it and the way of like it tended to like their situation,
yeah,
it was so powerful.
I literally, when I was getting ready, I was praying, I was in the bathroom, I think you were in the other room, and I just felt like the Lord started to like download to me the perspective that he wanted to share this song from. And it was something of, I think in this generation, we have a lot of knowledge and a lot of information of awareness about the way that we are. We're constantly wanting to learn about ourselves. We now have resources to like have definitions of things. And I think a lot of that can be so great where in the Christian faith, we need to make sure that we're not learning to live with things that the Lord wants to heal.
Yeah.
And I think that was something huge for me. Of like, man, have I learned to get really acquainted with my traumas and my triggers, or am I actually surrendering those to the Lord, that I can lay those things down? A line in Manasseh is, you traded all my traumas for vantages of grace. And the perspective of that is like, man, things happen to us and they really are traumatic. And I never want to dismiss those things, but I think that there's a beautiful exchange that happens when we get to trade those things for perspective, of grace for other people's situations. Because at the end of the day, like, we were saved so we can save others as well. Like now we get to run the race. And
that literally
Pastor Earl
tied into his message.
Yeah, Pastor Earl spoke so much about that, and so did Pastor Jensen. And so basically that was kind of how I broke it all down. I did mention, I know we talked about Inside Out too last episode.
She did bring that up. And
did.
The room ate it up. They loved that.
Enoch. I was like, have you guys seen Inside Out 2? The whole room shouted. I was like, okay, great. Phew. Because I was like, what if like nobody was like, yeah.
No, they know.
One time I was leading worship and I was going into the story of Manasseh. I think this was like at a young adults event. And I was like, you guys know the story of Joseph? And I like, rose my hand to like see it. Maybe one person rose their hand. And I was like, I don't know if you guys are shy, but now I feel like I'm going to have to now.
Young adults are a little weird like that. I'm like, y'all lighten up.
I know. I was like, now I feel like I'm going to have to go through the whole story of Joseph, which I did.
In the beginning.
Anyway, all that to say, I started talking about Inside Out, and I referred to that moment where, what's the girl's name?
Joy?
Riley? No, the girl.
Yeah, Riley.
She's like going through an anxiety attack. And I mean, every Christian Christ follower who watches that movie, I think they felt like the power in that moment when Joy's like, anxiety, you have to let her go. Because I think that that's literally what Jesus is saying to all of us in this day and hour.
Right.
Because I feel like it has become such a foothold on so many of us, including myself. I would say that's something that
that's real.
Has been like a struggle of mine throughout my entire youth and like even into my adulthood. I think that that's something like Romans 12:2, it's be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's a daily practice. So I referred to that and was like, man, during this song, I want, like, during a moment, you just decide to let things go and you decide to remind yourself through the authority of Christ, like, hey, anxiety has to let me go now. Like depression, it has to let me go. Like addiction, it needs to let me go. All these things. So, man, it was a powerful moment, and I felt like the students grabbed a hold.
Yeah, so easy to receive.
Of what we were saying.
I felt like after that moment, the room was just so free. Like worship the next day, like you had literally like broke something open to where like I feel like every hand was raised and it was like just this liberty in the room.
It was so powerful. I mean, I'm just honored like that the Lord would, and grateful the Lord would put that on my heart, because I was like, I'm so nervous to sing this song. Yeah. I feel like I get that question all the time. I get so nervous. Are you kidding me? Especially because of something like that in a room. I remember being a teenager in a room like that, hanging on every single word that was said because I just needed to. Like, I needed someone to acknowledge you're not crazy. Your mind isn't broken.
It's so real.
What you're going through is not completely unique. Like, there's other people who've walked this before. There's victory that others have walked through. The things that you've been going through before. So just kind of that, just feeling that spiritual weight. But it was such a beautiful night. The team did so incredible. I love being around my band. I think this was like some of the people. You hadn't met all my band yet.
No, not all of them.
So crazy.
So it was a great time.
I know. We had so much fun. And just being able to hang out and see so many of our good friends we haven't seen in such a long time. I loved it. I literally look forward to it every year. And then now we go to Houston tomorrow so when you guys are listening to this, we will be in Houston for an event.
Oh, yeah.
And then we go home, we pack, and vacation.
Vacay.
Guys, we're so excited. I'm so excited for vacation. I feel like you can maybe feel I'm a little sleepy right now.
Yeah, she is. I don't know if we'll do it.
This was technically an off day, but it was like, we need to make sure we...
Yeah, we'll see.
I think podcast.
I don't know if we'll shoot a podcast. Maybe we switch it up and do like a vlog. What do we think?
For next week?
Yeah.
What about for our audio listeners? We'll figure something out. I mean, we may just tell you guys, go watch this week's vlog, because we will be in Greece. We're so excited.
Yeah, we might switch it up.
I thought I'd never been to Greece. Apparently I have. My mom told me that we'd gone when we were younger.
That's exciting.
I know. I'm like... Man, what a bummer.
Well,
don't take your kids places like that when they're too young. Because I literally was like, oh my gosh, Mom, I'm going to Greece. I'm so excited. I've never been. I was going to start here. We're going to go to Thessaloniki for a little bit. And my mom was like, Anna, you've been to Thessaloniki. I was like, what? She's like, yep, we toured all the biblical spots. And I was like, man, that is such...
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's honestly so crazy.
Kind of a waste.
we were on mission trips too, so it was like, I think it was like a few days after the mission trip
through Europe.
But that's so funny. So we're so excited about that. We're gonna eat so much Greek food, peanut.
Oh, we love Greek food these days. So
I know it's like all we're thinking about right now is food too.
Yeah,
I want to go get some food. Maybe lay out by the pool.
Probably some Bojangles.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see.
That's all Enoch wants since we're back here in Georgia. Honestly,
Yeah.
I do love Bojangles, but when I was here last time, I think it was just going like really late and the biscuit wasn't cooked and the middle was dough.
No.
And it was just like such a tough experience. So
Well,
I'll let Bojangles
we'll see what happens.
redeem that, I guess.
We'll see if that bowberry biscuit is cooked this time.
Is that what that's called?
The bowberry
No,
biscuit.
that's me. Guys, at Bojangles, they change everything with a B. Right? Bowberry?
Bowberry biscuit.
Is that a berry? Actual berry?
Yeah. No, that's like a blueberry biscuit with icing.
Yeah. See, I
incredible.
knew it. I knew it was
10
something
out
they,
of 10.
I knew it was something they
The
coined
Cajun-
over there.
Cajun filet biscuit.
Okay, can't wait. I'm more
Oh,
excited
yeah.
for the Greek food. Guys, I'm so excited. We're leaving in like 48 hours, something like that.
Something like that.
Not packed, have
But
no
yeah.
idea what we're going to wear.
But that's life.
Yeah.
Man, I
I'm
love
going to
it.
literally pack right before the flight. Casually, as I always do. Also, when you go on a vacation, like I was talking to you about this in Target when we were there earlier because I had to get an outfit for tomorrow. Target has some great stuff right now too, and I forgot a swimsuit and we wanted to try and tan today. So I was getting some stuff and I was like, do we need anything else for vacation? We're just like picking stuff out. The whole time you plan a vacation, you're like looking at price tag. You're like, oh, picking this over this. For some reason, like the 48 hours before vacation when you're shopping, like all budget goes out the window. You're literally like, do I need this? Do I need this? It feels like just like the Twilight Zone. Do you agree?
I've never been in that position.
You don't get stuff?
I don't
before-
ever feel like I need anything for vacation.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
I know every girl will relate with me right now.
I think that's a girl
Like when
thing.
you're going somewhere.
I think guys just want like 2 swimsuits, 5 underwear.
I wouldn't say
and like
so.
3 t-shirts,
Guys,
and they want to
show
call
up.
it a day.
No, literally, it's
I
like
want a strong moisturizer for my face, my hair products, my toothbrush, and I'm out the door.
I felt so. Enoch's been upset about the moisturizer I got him recently. Also, Enoch, how do you put on moisturizer?
I just rub it in my face.
How have you?
I put it on my hands, I rub it in, and then I rub it in.
See, you guys, Enoch's been putting his moisturizer in the palm of his hands, rubbing it all over his entire hands like 4 times, and then putting it in his face. And I was like,
No,
that's
not
why
over
you've been
all
running
of my
through
hands,
that
just like
nice
the
moisturizer
top part of my
so
fingers.
fast. Always put your moisturizer on your face and rub it in with your fingertips so all the product gets in your skin.
Whatever.
But you did it great today, Enoch.
Man,
You showed me.
I don't think anybody can relate to that.
I think 100%.
I'm sure everyone just puts
any woman
moisturizer
who
on.
buys moisturizer for their significant other, they understand because they're like, that is so much product.
I don't waste it. No,
I'll
I
see
don't.
Enoch beaming in this oil that I get. I'm like, that oil's $100. He's like, swimming in it.
I'm moisturized though.
He is. You're
Yeah,
very
yeah.
moisturized.
Well, this was fun. It was a good time.
I love seeing you so hungry recording this because I know you're
I just know you don't know how to wrap it up.
Anyway, and another thing.
Yeah, Anna
Enoch's
could
like, we
literally
have
be like-
30 minutes. I'm like, we have 50.
And it could be like, and another thing all day long. So that's when I'm like,
I love
anyways.
that. I love that about me. There's no such thing as being bored, only boring people. Amen?
And that's the golden nugget.
No.
What
The
would it
golden
even
nugget-
be?
I would say honestly the golden nugget for me for this episode would be that there are things in our lives that the Lord's wanting to heal that we've learned how to live with. And that's where we truly get to partake in a great exchange of like, man, those things that I just think of like when you've learned to walk with a limp because of an injury that happened, or when you didn't do the physical therapy and it's like, oh, now I can't really move my hand the same way I used to. It's like, man, I think the Lord actually wants to heal some things that we've been kind of adjusting how we live our lives, adjusting because of the certain triggers, not going to a church because such and such happened, not getting in a relationship because this happened, not joining a connect group again, not hanging out with friends anymore, not, you know what I mean?
Letting people in.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that the Lord wants to heal, and I've felt that word for myself and for this conference and for everybody who's listening to this. So I would say
So
that
good.
is a golden nugget this week. We hope you
Love
were
that.
so encouraged
We love you guys
and
so
you just
much.
felt like you were sitting down talking to us, no makeup on, in our sweats on an off day,
yeah.
out of town. This is what it looks like. Pretty glamorous, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we love you guys so
Love y'all.
much.
Y'all
Don't
are
forget
awesome.
to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. We're
Yeah.
releasing our merch very, very soon.
Very soon. You guys hold on just a little bit
on.
longer. We'll have it ready for you guys to buy.
So exciting. We love you all so much. Have an amazing week. Bye.
See y'all.